Previously on the Rainbow Challenge, 10 gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender Americans were pulled from society and the comforts of civilization. They had to adapt to their environment and each other or be voted out of the family. A series of challenges would test them physically and mentally. The Orange family jumped ahead with a win and a decision to provide safety to a blue family member. They chose Scott, claiming he was their weakest link. In a split decision, Kelly barely survived and D'Angelo was the first voted from the family. The competition waged on as the blue family took control, forcing Orange to drop Amaya. Later that evening, Dustin's headache led him to quit the game. Injuries and bug bites took their toll on the Orange family, and Moxie couldn't pull her weight in the challenges. In a twist, Casey was forced to join the Orange family, but managed to prove her worth and ousted Moxie. One challenge forced Chris from the game, leaving Felisa without a teammate. The challenge led to Amaya's return, but she was unable to break the original blue family's bond and was voted out again, joining Chris as a member of the jury. In a brutal challenge, Felisa needed safety as the last original Orange, but Kelly's speed led to her win. In a shocking moment, Felisa quit due to the itching and swelling of her bug bites, adding her to the jury. The original blue had to begin turning on each other as Casey won an individual safety and the power to remove Nick. Now, 3 remain. Scott, the fun-loving underdog. Kelly, the tough-as-nails athlete. And Casey, the beautiful black horse. Now, one will become the last member of the jury, and one will become the Rainbow Champion.
He was trying to be strong. I know that.
I hated that no matter what.
Someone was going to get their feelings hurt. You can't not get your feelings hurt at that. I mean, it's just like...
No.
I'm sad. That was hard. It is. It's hard to vote out the person that has literally kept me warm the last 2 nights. And he worked his ass off out here. I mean, he really did. He's tough. And I said to the group before we went up there, maybe you can think of it as a compliment if we're voting you off now, because that means we think you're a big competitor.
Doesn't it feel so like a black day? Like, we literally haven't been here with either not the 4 of us here or the thought of not the 4 of us being here.
Right.
Like,
of like getting the other person back.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just bittersweet. I mean, on one hand, all 3 of us are one step closer to winning. And, you know, like I've said before, the $1,000 would be nice to have in my bank account, but I can blow that pretty quickly.
This is like so emotional, so tough.
Mm-hmm.
I never I never expected to feel this. I mean, I really never expected to feel this way.
This aspect of it never crossed my mind. I thought about the bugs, I thought about sleeping outside, I thought about being hungry, I thought about being dirty, I thought about it being competition and it being a tough competition. And honestly, I never expected to make it to the top 3 either. I just didn't. And then all of a sudden, like, emotions started getting involved, and I was like, this is weird. But of course they do. Like, they force you through these, like, roller coasters together as a team. Like, you win, so you're excited. As a team, you lose, and you're devastated. You know, like.
Then they throw something else in.
Yeah.
One for our homie.
I'll look it. Yeah, man.
You're supposed to save some to drink.
Oh. I'm not that smart. Cheers.
They're crying even harder on the next one.
This is the toughest thing we ever had to do. Like, I did not expect the emotional part. Well, the thing is, if you don't win immunity, you can only vote for one person.
True.
If
Oh,
you
yeah,
If
that
you
makes
win
sense,
immunity, it's the problem. That's
Right.
the problem.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm
It's
throwing it.
It's a blessing, but
It's a blessing, but at the same
a
time,
huge
it hurt.
burden.
Yeah.
Hello, Final 3.
Hi.
Hey, a nice camp. This is looking very homey.
It is very homey.
I just felt that being the Final 3 is a pretty impressive accomplishment. So I brought you a little bit of energy because your last challenge is a tough one. And so I thought you may need a little sustenance so that you guys can have a better competition.
Oh my
Thank you.
Sack
The best thing ever.
Sack lunches and a soda. And they are vegetarian friendly. So
Thank you.
hopefully that will give you a little bit of energy for what's about to come. And I'll see you guys shortly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
Pour out that damn water.
I think I need to win this last immunity because I know that Scotty and Nick both voted for me because they think I'm strong competition. If it came down to me and her, I think if she had to choose between me and Scott, I'm not sure what she would do. I think Scott would probably take Kelly with him to the final 2. I'm not positive, that's what I sort of think, so I do think I need it.
Like, I probably do need to win it in order to stay in the game.
And let your foot kind of like slip in there.
Yeah.
Than to risk going slower because it's killing.
It's a garter snake. You can pick it up by the
I don't want to. I've never picked up a snake. You pick it up. You be like that guy from the show.
They're just...
Yeah.
They're garter snakes. They don't hurt. They smell.
Crystal meth is a drug secretly attacking the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender community all around America.
This drug has horrible side effects, including rotting of teeth, hair loss, erectile dysfunction, and even death.
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 Death!
Crystal meth users also have a much higher rate of HIV/AIDS and other sexually transmitted diseases.
Challenge yourself. Party without meth and other drugs.
Check out www.themooCrew.com for more information.
Bring it in, challengers. Alright guys, you guys have been through the mud, through swimming, through eating, through emotional moments, through physical moments. This is your last challenge, the last challenge, the first ever Rainbow Challenge. So bring your game to this. The challenge is simple, it's mind over matter. You're going to be shoeless. will step up onto 2 planks. You're going to stand there in balance as long as you possibly can. If you lose your balance or decide that you can't take the pain anymore, fall off backwards into the water and you're out of the challenge. Last person standing wins the final safety. There's no reward and no bottle. There is nothing important in this game anymore except for the safety. Casey, I'll take that safety back, take your shoes off, and we'll draw for spots. Alright, challengers, we've drawn for spots. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to get up and situated on your pegs, at which point the challenge will start. Ready? That time starts now. This challenge has begun. Scott fixing it now. Don't touch your fellow competitors. Kelly is on his statue. Casey's looking red. Kelly takes a bobble.
I'm shaking legs.
Everybody wants this win. It is obvious. No one feels safe tonight. I want to grab that too, can I? Kelly looking silly. The wind picks up periodically. Could make it more difficult. Do whatever you need to help. Just don't grab anything around you. Kelly's silly. Casey hasn't moved much. Scott's head stumble. Kelly's looking rough. Kelly's calves are quivering. Scott's feet are shaking like a leaf. Yes, they are. Wind's picking up, making it harder for everyone. Everybody bobbles. Mother Nature is fighting you yet again.
Or Mother Nature!
Scott does not like Mother Nature. Scott's losing. That Scott is out of this challenge. It is down to Casey and Kelly.
Good job, Scott. Okay, so are we going to trust each other to the end?
Girls have an alliance? Is that what I'm hearing?
Never spoken. Now spoken. I got your back.
Somebody negotiating here?
On it.
And with that, Casey wins the final safety.
Sucked.
What was the worst part of it?
I think I have had a sprained toe since tug of war. So it was killing me on my right foot. It was just pain. It just hurt. And every little bit of wind knocked it over. And looked at their shadows going at me. It just freaked me out. That's why I found a spot to concentrate on, and I couldn't think about anything or do anything else.
Congratulations, Casey. The final safety in the Rainbow Challenge. You are guaranteed a spot in the final 2, and it is you who will make the vote tonight as to decide who will be the person sitting next to you in the final 2. You'll be the only person to vote. Kelly, Scott, power's completely out of your hands now. Kelly, it looks like there was a deal made. We'll see if Casey keeps up that end of the bargain. For now, head back to camp.
Like, I was like standing up there, like I almost asked even like as soon as he went down, like I hesitated for a minute because I was like,
This is a lot of
I'm
trust.
surprised that I didn't even think to talk about it then. It didn't even cross my mind.
Really?
Yeah. I said to her, while still concentrating on my spot, "Can I trust you?" And she said, "Of course, babe." I said, "Shake on it." We shook, and I just tipped back. And it's putting a lot of trust in her. It's putting a huge amount of trust.
Did you two have an alliance from the beginning?
No.
You didn't?
No. It just kind of worked out that we just kind of always have, like...
I think we may have had an unspoken one. I still would say that when it comes to the jury, if it would be me and Kelly left, I feel like I would probably lose.
Up there, you guys didn't even give me time to get up there to hear you making an alliance.
Well, I didn't want to be up there anymore.
Making an alliance.
I didn't want to be up there anymore. I knew her toe hurt, and I was like... I mean, she could totally turncoat on me, though. You never know.
She could turncoat on you.
She could.
That would be a twist.
I know.
If it was me and Scott left, I think I would have a better chance. It was so much more fun than I ever in a million years would have guessed it was going to be. This is not at all what I expected. I think it was a blast. It was intense and it was emotional. It was so much more emotional than I ever thought it was going to be. I've cried several times now. I'll probably cry one more time.
Yeah.
It's not the same at camp. Like, every other time we've been, like, inventing games to play to keep us occupied in this, like, time we have in between challenges and council, and I don't really want to play games. I just want to tear everything down.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
2009 is AIDS Resource Center Ohio's 25th year providing services to the community.
We would hope we'd never see our 25th birthday.
Born out of the kitchens and living rooms of people who were losing or had lost loved ones to HIV, AIDS Resource Center Ohio grew over the last 2.5 decades to become one of the leading AIDS services organizations in the nation,
providing comprehensive services to those affected and at risk of HIV/AIDS.
But we need your help. There is still no cure or preventive vaccine for HIV, and people are still dying.
And as long as people with HIV are in need, the AIDS Resource Center Ohio must be there to help.
Help us blow out our candles. Log on to arcohio.org/birthdaybash.
Every $1,000 will blow out a candle and help raise needed funds for HIV/AIDS services.
If we must see our 26th year of HIV infection, let's make sure AIDS Resource Center Ohio is around to help.
Challengers, come on in. I will now bring in the members of our jury. Nick voted out at the last family council. Chris, Elisa, and Amaya. Just a reminder that they are only here to listen and observe so that they can gather information to cast the final vote for the winner in the end. Casey, tell me about the challenge, what it was like, and how did you win?
The challenge was tough. We had to stand on 2 pegs at the end of a dock, and it was an endurance, balance type of challenge. It hurt. Our legs were shaking. It was hard to balance every time a gust of wind came over. We almost were knocked off, and it hurt. That's the best way to describe it. It was painful.
Kelly, at the end of the challenge, you had a discussion with Casey. You said something about, can I trust you? You shook hands, you fell off. What was that discussion? And it looked to me like you voluntarily fell off. Is that true?
Yeah, it was. We never formally had an alliance. I wouldn't even say that until that point exactly did we have any kind of mutual agreement. Instead of us both walking out of here or limping out of here hurting, and her maybe even a little worse off because of her toe. I took a risk, hoped that I could trust her on her word, and decided to take the fall and take a risk.
All right, huge risk. This is a huge risk. You had no verbal agreement that she was taking you to the Final Two. For all you know, her and Scott have been playing in Final Two since day one, correct?
True.
So why, from where I'm sitting, where did you find that trust in her to voluntarily step down from perhaps the biggest challenge in the Rainbow Challenge?
I mean, throughout the whole competition, she's been trustworthy. She's gone to the other team multiple times and came back seemingly as loyal as always. And even the fact that she was always willing to go over to the other team was huge. Granted, it was never us telling her to go or necessarily even her volunteering. It was always happened to be just random chance. But she went over there without any complaint. Never changing her mind and saying, well, actually, can we switch? She was always a stand-up person, and I have no reason to believe that she's not going to keep her word now.
Scott, how do you feel about that handshake and your position in this game right now?
Well, I will say that the handshake was a big blow. I mean, I didn't know if they had an alliance or they didn't, but that kind of made it evident whether it was, unspoken, spoken beforehand, or just at that moment. Going into that challenge, I felt like I had to win or I was going to be on the chopping block because, I mean, the two of them had a really good connection. To see that happen, I, kind of felt like all this hard work and I just fell off 2 pedestals. How did I let myself do that?
Kelly, why is it in Casey's best interest to take you to the Final Two?
I don't know that it is. I don't know that it isn't. I think that with the jury that we have, it could go either way easily. In all honesty, there's a really good chance that I sealed my own fate by offering her the free ticket to final, to the final competition. I don't know. I really could have. It might not have been in my interest.
Scott, why is it in Casey's best interest to take you to the Final Two?
I mean, one thing that I could say is I really haven't had any relationship with anyone on the jury except for Nick. I mean, he was part of our group. I felt like he was a good friend, a good ally. But the other 3, I only had, like Chris, I didn't get to spend any time with Chris. And the other 2, it was just an hour or 2. I mean, we met each other, but that was about it. We didn't get to really talk. So I feel like they don't know me at all. And Casey, I mean, just for her advantage, she's been back and forth. So, I mean, she's gotten to know everybody. So, I mean, I think that that's kind of been a huge... I mean, I think that it's an advantage for her because everyone's met her, knows her. So, I mean, and none of them knows me.
Again, Scott can only vote for Kelly. Kelly only for Scott. There's no sense in you voting as your votes cancel each other out. Casey, there will be 1 vote in that box. It will be yours. You will vote the last person out of the Rainbow Challenge, therefore picking the person who is sitting next to you in the Final Two. It is time to vote. Casey, you're up. Once the vote is read, the family member who is voted out will need to bring me their necklace. I'll read the vote. 8th person out of the Rainbow Challenge and final member of our jury, Scott. You need to bring me your necklace.
Thank you, girls.
Scott, you're out of the family. It's time for you to go. Casey, Kelly, you two have gone as far as you possibly can go in this game. You have done what 8 other contestants could not do. You have made the final family council. You're going to have some time to go back and think about your opening statement to the jury as to why they should choose you to be the Rainbow Champion, at which point the jury will have the opportunity to ask you some questions to help them make a decision as to who they want to vote to win the Rainbow Challenge. Casey, safety is no longer in play in this game. You can leave safety behind. You all head back to camp.
Oh, it was rough. I think that first day may have been...
That was maybe the scariest part of it, because it's like, if all of the challenges are like this, I had no idea what I was signing up for.
Brutal challenges. This is a game, and I played the game well. Obviously, I played the game well. I won the last 2 immunities, and I'm still here in the final 2. Surviving in the wilderness, and there's so much satisfaction to that. There's satisfaction to knowing if I don't get this fire going, I'm going to be cold. And there's satisfaction in knowing I need to build this up so that it keeps me dry. And I need to win this challenge or else I'm not going to get to eat. There's so much satisfaction in like having to survive that way. Even looking over there as the jury was sitting there, I was like, there's a very, very real possibility that she's going to win. Am I okay with that? Yeah, she's going to take that. Oh, buddy! As long as she buys me a beer. Right. I mean, I honestly think that Kelly's probably going to win. And I had to be okay with that before I could vote. And I think I'm okay with that. I think that I did my best, and I think that if that's what they feel is right, that's how the game is played. It's up to them to decide.
I don't think anything in this game is in the bag. I don't think you know really fully at all. I mean, I know that Nick and Scott were both okay with being voted off. We all said it was each man for themselves at the final 4, but it's a good chance that they've got hurt feelings. And even though Casey and I both, you know, agreed on both those votes, there's a really good chance that they could, you know, place that frustration on one of us rather than the other. My hope is that at least those 2 guys, that they just look at who is the better rainbow challenger by whatever definition they call that, and that they pick it that way. I'm not confident at all. I really think it could go either way very easily. I wouldn't be surprised if she won. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if I won. My guess is it swayed a little bit more in her direction, honestly. Here, you want to grab that one? I'll grab this one. Be careful, watch that. Down at the bottom is really, it's started to burn. Are you grab from the very bottom? I'll just pull it out. Going to burn my shoes. No, I'm afraid you're going to burn your face.
This has been such a tough game. I feel that Casey and Kelly deserve a break. So I'm going to give them a little opportunity to escape the game and just kind of look back on their adventure. Hello, final 2. Hey. You know, I thought that after this big adventure that you 2 have been on, and such an impressive finish I think that both of you have made, I thought it would be really fantastic to take a moment and pay a little homage or a little respect to the other 8 people that were in this adventure with you, the other 8 people who helped get you to where you are. So I'm going to give you a map. Follow that map. It will lead you to all the torches of those that have come before you. Attached to their torch is a feather. And that feather will just represent any emotions that you have to them, and if you follow the rest of that map, you will find a location where you can pay homage, pay your final respects to the people who came before you in this challenge.
Shortly after that, we'll see you at the final family council, where you'll both have the opportunity to talk with the jury. Good luck. I'll see you soon.
D'Angelo wasn't with us very long, but he was definitely a team player. And he definitely helped us with that first challenge, tug of war. We were so devastated when we lost because we thought we had the strongest team, and it was really sad to see him go.
Dustin. I didn't get a chance to really know him. He left the competition so early, which is a shame because my first impressions of him was that he was going to be probably one in the final six. And for him to have to leave for a medical reason really stinks because I think he could have really fought his way through.
Yeah, I got to hang out with him a little bit when I went to the Orange family, and I could tell he was an asset to their family. He was whipping the shelter up for them. Behind him he had trees bent over in half and ropes all around. He was sort of the architect behind the shelter, and I thought he was definitely a huge threat. I came back to my team and said that Dustin was going to be tough, so it was kind of sad that he had to leave for medical reasons. Moxie was definitely an asset on their team as well. I learned that from spending some time with them. So I know that she was tough, and I definitely was one of the people that tried to vote her out because I knew that if it came down to the end, she was not going to go down easily. She's tough.
I respected what Moxie did in the food challenge when she knew that our team picked her to potentially have an extra vote against her if she didn't eat what was put in front of her, and that she stuck to her beliefs.
Chris.
If there's anybody that got robbed in this competition, it's Chris. I can't say that it wasn't a relief for me because he's probably the one that I was the most scared of the whole competition. He had height, he had charisma, smart. He was definitely a triple threat. He was athletic. And I don't think any of us even knew that that was going to come when we voted that way. So
I think we were all totally shocked.
Completely.
Because we had talked about it among our family the whole time. Chris is going to give us a run for our money. When our families merge, he'll be there. I know he'll be there, and he's going to be tough.
Maya.
I didn't get to spend all that much time with her, but she had me laughing every single interaction I had with her. She was cracking me up, and her take on everything was just slightly different than everybody else's, and it just made me laugh. It was kind of like a comic relief when I was stressed and tired or sitting in the wet or in the mosquitoes. She just had something funny to say about it all, and that really was good for me. And I know that she formed some bonds with people on her team. I remember seeing that, like, they got close.
I love her confidence in herself too. Felisa
is one tough woman. I don't know any other way to describe her. She was in the final 5 with us, and she was climbing through those ropes and giving it her all in every single challenge there was. She was amazing. I actually said to her at one point, I said, I'm so impressed by you. You're inspiring me to continue to go on, because there have been times already that I've wanted to quit. And then I look at you, and you're not quitting, and you're not whining, and I'm half your age. I said that to her, and she was like, girl, you can't quit. I said, you're right, I can't.
Nick. I did not want to vote for him. If there's any other people that would have been on our team that I could have voted for, I would have voted for them in a heartbeat. But it came down to every man for themselves, and Nick is a strong competitor. He definitely worried me. If there came down to anything about strength, he was going to be the one that took me out. And he is strong, and he's sweet. And I mean, I don't think I could have had a better time on this thing if he wasn't around. Scotty. Scotty was definitely the comic relief of the team. He came off really shy at first, and I was really amazed to see how much he opened up to us and was willing to let loose and just be a goofball by the end. You know that we.
Voting out Scott was hard because I had to do it, and that was something I did not want to do. But again, he was someone else. We had talked about it because we wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page as far as we understand this is competition, we understand this, we understand that it has to happen at some point. It's not something we want to do, it has to happen, and I felt horrible because I felt like I was letting him down, but at the same time, he knew that I gave you my word, and he would have been disappointed in me had I not stuck by my word with you, because that's how he is. So, that's just how it had to be.
I came in here wanting to be a complete, honest person. That they'd see all my different sides. They'd see, you know, that I could be a scrappy little punk, but at the same time, you know, be super caring and take care of my teammates whenever they needed anything. That, you know, that I hope just that they saw that I was a loyal person and trustworthy.
When I got here, when I saw some like the athleticism among some of these people, like I know that I'm not weak, but I'm not strong. I'm not as big as half of them. So, I mean, I knew that I felt disadvantaged from the beginning.
I have no idea if she's gonna win or if I am. I think it could go either way easily.
I never expected this to be like this. I never expected to be so emotional. I've lost count of how many times I've cried since I've been here. And that's just so not like me to cry.
I am honestly humbled by this whole experience. I think being a woman in general, you have to fight a little bit harder to get respect from people. Being a gay woman, I think you have to fight a little bit harder.
I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of how this sort of played out in the way that it shook down. I don't think Helly hasn't lied to anyone either. Like, both of us made it here just by being real and by being honest and by being as tough as we possibly could against people that are really tough.
Recent statistics for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgendered youth are alarming.
LGBT and questioning youth who come from rejecting families are up to 9 times more likely to attempt suicide than their heterosexual peers.
Up to 42% of homeless youth are GLBT, and these youth have much higher risk for HIV infection and drug use.
Challenge yourself. Help protect all of our youth by teaching tolerance and diversity. provide encouragement, support, and love to all children, no matter their differences.
Check out www.themoocrew.com for resources and information.
Challengers, bring it in. Kelly, Casey, this is where it ends. This is your final family council in the Rainbow Challenge. You can go no further in this game. In just a moment, I'm going to bring in the jury. You're going to have an opportunity to make an opening statement as to why they should give you the $1,000 prize and the important title of the Rainbow Champion. After which, they'll have the opportunity one at a time to address you and ask any questions they deem necessary to help them make their decision as to who should win this game. I'll give you just one moment to gather your thoughts, and then I'll bring in the jury. Jury, in just a moment, our final two challengers are going to make an opening statement as to why you should vote for them to be the Rainbow Champion. After that, I will give you the opportunity to ask any questions you need to help you make the best decision as to who should win the game. I'll give you a minute to think. Kelly, we'll start with you. Your opening statement.
When I entered into this competition, if you had asked me if I would make it to the final two, I would have said I sure hope so, but I doubt it. And now that I'm sitting here, it's almost unbelievable, and much less to be sitting here with her. You guys have all had the chance to get to know her and know the strengths that she has and the wonderful qualities she possesses. I wouldn't even begin to try to throw her under the bus because I don't think that any of you guys would count that as anything worthy because you know that she's got too many good points. So the best I can do to try to persuade you to maybe swing my way is just to remind you of the stuff that I did, that I feel like I was always selfless on the team. Or at least as much as I was conscious of it, I tried to be selfless. That anytime anybody needed assistance, even in the middle of a match, I was there to help out. That basically I tried to put everybody else forward. I definitely wish that that all of us could win. Obviously not everybody can. But especially Nick and Scott. Like, especially, you know, I wish that you guys could be up here with us, and it stinks that you can't. I certainly hope that you don't think that we were conspiring against you ever, because that was not the issue at all. And, you know, the other three of you, I didn't get the chance to know you, but I know that you saw me in the competitions, and I hope that you respect my drive and I think good sportsmanship enough to cast your vote my way.
Thank you, Kelly. Casey, your turn.
Thinking about this today, I realized that all that really matters at this point is what you guys, as the jury, think it means to be the winner of the Rainbow Challenge. That being said, I sort of went over my path and figured out how exactly I ended up here, because I'm pretty surprised that I'm here. Toward the beginning, the second challenge is the first time that I really remember it. I was so excited when the blue team won, and it was at the end when we finished the puzzle before the orange team. And I was so excited because for the first time I really felt like I had contributed something unique to my team. Because up until then, I was the only person in our family who had never been camping before. And I may not have mentioned that right away because I didn't want you to think less of me, but I jumped in and tried to help where I could. But I knew I didn't necessarily know, I didn't take the lead there because I didn't know what I was doing. Immediately after that, we were told that somebody from our team had to go over to the orange camp, and none of us wanted to do it, so we played a game like paper, scissors, rocks for it, and I lost, and without any question, I said, okay, I'll go do it. So I went over there, and I ended up being stuck over there for a lot longer than I expected, And I felt ostracized by the Orange family, not because of anything they did, but because I was trying really to remain loyal to the Blue family. And it turned out that the next day, that was a very emotional day for me, because then at the same time, all I could think about was, what am I missing out in the Blue family? Are they bonding without me? Am I going to be left out when I get back? Am I going to be the odd man out? And that never happened. The very next day, we win the next challenge, a challenge that I sat out of because we had one extra person, and I knew that I wasn't physically as strong as the other 3 members of my family. And upon winning, we were told that somebody had to leave our team. I knew it had to be me. I hadn't participated in that challenge, and it was not right for anyone else to be the one to leave. There was no question. You all offered to play paper, scissors, rock, sport again, and I knew that I would not be comfortable with that decision, because that was not the right thing to do. And it devastated me, because I was sure that that was my ticket out of here. I was convinced that as soon as I got to the Orange family, I'd obviously be the first one to leave, because I hadn't been a part of their family all along. And that was honestly my mentality. I was basically in tears walking back to their camp, and I got there, and all of a sudden it sort of dawned on me that I wasn't ready to leave. And I wasn't just going to take it that way. I wasn't just going to sit there and wait to be voted off, although in my mind that's what it was. So I was bound and determined at the next challenge, no matter what it was, I was going to prove myself. I was going to make sure that they couldn't justify voting me off. The next challenge was the eating challenge. And I know several of you have come to me and said, oh, I could never have done that, and I honestly don't know how I did. But in my mind, that was my immunity challenge. That was my personal, I need to do this or else I'm not going to be here any longer. And even after it was said and done with, I still wasn't completely confident that I had proven myself. But I knew in my mind I could rest easy if I got sent home, because I had done everything I possibly could. After that, pretty quickly the teams merged, and that challenge was kind of crazy, and things happened unexpectedly. There were 3 more individual challenges following that. Kelly won one, and Felicia ended up leaving the game for health reasons. In the next 2, again, in my mind, I knew, as close as the 4 of us were, I honestly felt that if I didn't win immunity at the next challenge, that I was gone. I honestly thought that I had figured out enough that I was pretty convinced I was going to be the next one to leave. So I had to win immunity again. And I did. Same thing happened the very next challenge. There were 3 of us left, and I was fairly certain that if I was not wearing that sash when I walked back to camp, that I was going to be the one to go home. And again, in my mind, I have to win immunity or else I'm out of here. And I did. So I know that I did my best here. I know that I played this game with integrity and honesty, but I was still competitive, and I gave it everything I had. I dug down deep inside of me, and even if I don't win, I can be proud of myself and happy with my performance. But to me, that's what it means to be the winner of this game. I won 2 out of the last 3 immunities so that I could be sitting here today, and I think that's why I'm here.
Jury, it is now your opportunity to ask any questions and to address our final 2. Scott, we'll start with you.
Congratulations, ladies. You did what the rest of us couldn't do, so congrats. No hard feelings, I promise. But I do want to kind of get this. We're the nice tribe. We were the nice tribe, so I think that we need to get a little bitchy. Make this fun. But I do have 2 questions. The first question is just, when we talked about voting people out and keeping people in, we said that, we were going to try to take it down to the person who is the most deserving. So my first question is for both of you. I'm going to go ahead and ask Casey first. Why did you guys vote Nick out instead of me?
When I first voted Nick out, that choice was made primarily because I felt like I knew, Nick had said all along, we had all said, I feel like whoever is most deserving, that's who should end up being there. I felt that Nick and I did not agree on who was most deserving. I'm not necessarily saying that I thought I was the most deserving, because I don't, at that time I didn't, but I was pretty sure that he felt it was you and him. Just
Okay.
I don't think I ever remember, and I will be the first to say I have the worst memory ever. I think I've got the attention span of a fruit fly sometimes. But I don't remember ever saying that I was going to make sure that the most deserving person made it here. I know that Nick did, and I liked what he had to say. I had said all along, hey, we're playing all of us together until we're playing a Final Four, and then it's every man for themselves.
But why Nick before me? That's what I guess, but why Nick before me?
Question. Because one of you had to be, because realistically, like, I didn't have a reason to Nick before you. It had to be one or the other of you.
Okay. Okay. Congrats, both of you.
Thank you.
Amaya, you're up.
Hello, girls. I just have a couple things I want to say. I just want to say that, Kelly, I have a connection with you, and I feel like you voting me off was kind of a stab in the back to me. And Casey, I don't have that connection with you, but I feel like, I don't know, that wasn't a good move if we were to, you know, establish a friendship over that. And so I just want to put that out there. You guys voted me back in, and both of you voted me back in. So I'm thinking, okay, here's my second chance, and I'm excited for it, just to turn around to vote me off again. And that was, like, my question is just, you know, I didn't understand that at all.
Let us, well, at least let me, and I probably speak for her, apologize for that too. We didn't know what we were doing either. When Andrew was giving us these questions, and then throwing out some kinds of rewards, some of them fit exactly as we thought they would, and some of them just came out of left field.
Nick, it's your turn.
Hi, ladies. Hi. Good to see you again. I mean, we had this big kumbaya moment the whole time. I know I did. And I think you two are still having it, and you're not really giving us clear answers. I think you are great friends, but we have to decide who's going to win. And I want to hear 3 things from each of you that you did better than the other person. 3 things that are solid, that are real, that either from the challenges or at the campsite that you did better. Not that you have to throw someone under the bus, but we need to know why we should pick you.
I think I did a better job of making sure that people were comfortable during the night. I think I did a good job when we were doing team competitions of trying to come up with some creative ways of how we could maybe do things a little bit differently than the other team to give us an edge. And then just a third thing, I think I was a lot of, maybe you guys didn't have as much fun as I did around the camp, but I thought I did a good job of helping us do fun things around the camp to just pass the time when we were just waiting until the next thing would happen.
The first thing that comes to mind is the swimming puzzle challenge. I was the first one to admit I'm not a good swimmer, so how can we work this out? But I am really good at figuring out these puzzles. So I could tell you this is my weakness, but I can promise you that I'm going to get this puzzle. And so I was quick to admit a weakness, but I answered it also with a strength. The next thing that comes to mind is when it was time to choose who was going to leave that team. And lastly, no matter how you look at it or what factors were involved in it, because I know there were a lot and everyone probably has opinions on them, I did win the last 2 immunity challenges.
We've got to know Casey, of course, and the whole blue team had this halo around them, the whole kumbaya thing. And getting to know Casey, I know her a little better from being on the team, but really we don't know you much at all. So my question is, your speeches are really good. You say you don't know how to give good speeches, but all your speeches have been great. Casey, how sincere really is Kelly's speeches?
I think she's really sincere, and I wouldn't just say that if I didn't believe it. Like,
and Kelly, where'd you get that top?
Would I get what?
Your top.
This?
Mm-hmm.
Just for this challenge.
That's all I got.
I will say, for you, Casey, you played the game. So the kumbaya is bullcrap. You played the game, and you need to own up to it and stop pacifying the other. Now, and this is what I've seen from the very beginning. I had everybody pegged, so I want it to be where you're setting. So you got it. I'm telling you. So don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. You're where you're supposed to be. It was destined that you were supposed to be here.
Thank you, jury, for your questions. In the Rainbow Challenge, you guys get the option for one more sentence before they cast their votes. Kelly, we'll start with you.
I obviously haven't come across as sincere as I hoped. You made that clear. But I've been me. I've been real the whole time. I've never tried to sell you guys anything that wasn't exactly who I am. So whatever perception you have of me, vote on that one. I'm not going to try to convince you anymore.
I'm proud of where I am right now. I'll be more proud if I win, but I'm proud of being here. And as it's been said over and over, I mean, we're the final two. I made it here, and I picked who was going to be sitting here next to me. So I guess it's up to you to determine what it means to win this game. But as far as I'm concerned, I've done everything I could possibly know how to do to win this game.
Kelly, Casey, thank you. Jury, thank you for this most amazing adventure. It has been unbelievable to watch it all unfold. But now it is time to vote for the winner. And I want the jury to understand that you are writing down the name of the person you want to win. Felisa, we'll start with you. Kelly, Casey, jury, thanks again for an amazing adventure. The Rainbow Challenge was unbelievable to watch, and I have no doubts that you two want me to read these votes right now. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do that. You're going to have to wait till we are live back in Dayton, Ohio at Club Mask, where we will find out who is the $1,000 winner and the Rainbow Champion. I'll see you there. First of all, thank you. Casey and Kelly, the final two. I don't know if people know how hard you worked to get to where you are. Casey, your tears, Kelly, your emotion were very real. I was there, I saw it, I was a part of that adventure, and it was so real and so exciting, very powerful to watch. So
Although this is a fun game, you went through quite an ordeal to get to where you are. So no more delays. We're going to find out who has won the Rainbow Challenge. Just a reminder, you want to see your name on this paper. They have voted for a winner. It takes 3 votes to win. First vote, Kelly. Next vote, Casey. Third vote, Casey. That's 2 votes, Casey, 1 vote, Kelly. The Rainbow Champion, Casey.